Good morning, Theo and Charlie. It's Grammy, and the book I'm going to read for you today is called Caps for Sale. This is a book that I used to read when I was a little girl. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. So what is it that you think that he sells? Can you see? First he had his own checkered cap, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of white caps, then a bunch of gray caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. There's his checked hat, and then there's what color? Brown, looks like white, gray, and red was always on top. He walked up and down the streets holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." There he is, walking along the streets. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country." So he walked out of the town slowly, slowly, as to not upset the caps on the top of his head. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "There's a nice place for a rest," he thought, and he sat down very slowly under the tree, and he leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the brown caps, and the white caps, and the gray caps, and then the red caps on the very top. They were all there. So he went to sleep. What do you think's gonna happen? He slept for a long time. See, the sun is way up in the sky. There's the little flowers down there. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. Do you notice anything strange about this picture? Yeah, what happened? But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure the caps were right in place. All he felt was his own checked cap. What do you think happened to the caps? He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in the back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. What do you think happened to him? Then he looked up in the tree, and what do you think he saw? Take a guess. What do you think he saw up at the top of the tree? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a brown or a white or a gray or a red cap. Look at all those monkeys. That's a lot of monkeys, isn't it? The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. Do you think they're going to listen? "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking his finger at them. "You give me back my hats." But the monkeys only shook their fingers at him and said, "Tis, tis, tis." This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and he said, "You monkeys, you, give me back my hat." But the monkeys only shook 2 hands back at him and said, "Tis, tis, tis." Now he felt quite angry. He stomped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But then the monkeys stamped their feet and said, "Tis, tis, tis." Do you notice something that the monkeys are doing? By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stomped both of his feet and he shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both of their feet and said, "Tis, tis, tis." What are those monkeys doing? At last, he became so angry that he pulled his own cap off and he threw it to the ground and he began to walk away. What do you think's going to happen now? That's right. But then each monkey pulled off his hat and all the brown caps and all the white caps and all the gray caps and all the red caps came flying down to the ground. So the peddler picked up his hat, his caps, and he put them back on his head. First his own checked hat, then the brown caps, then the white caps, then the gray caps, and then the red caps on the very top. And he slowly walked back to town calling, "Caps for sale, caps for sale, 50 cents, caps for sale." Isn't that a fun book? I thought it was really fun how the monkeys did exactly what the man with the caps did. I hope you enjoyed that story. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.